Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk here on YouTube.com. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is gonna be a very interesting night because not only are you getting the Cerebral Smack Talk, but we are also giving you wrestling for strictly sport exclusive special events. You're gonna get to hear You're going to hear the Bulls Corner and the Ranger Roundup, and it is going to be a banner night. Big wins on all fronts. The Rangers have tied the Stanley Cup playoff at 2 games apiece, and the Chicago Bulls have stolen the first 2 games of the Eastern Conference playoff series from Michael Bullock, Derek Ferreira, and the Boston Celtics. That puts them in now prime position for an 8 versus 1 possible upset, but we're not going to get into that at all. Right now, we're going to focus on SmackDown Live and what went down because this is the Cerebral Smack Talk, and we are ready to go. As always, with the ridiculously over gentleman, Mr. Anthony Florio, the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and, of course, the Twisted Angel, the lovely Dee Dee Woodson. And what we started off tonight, guys, well, it started off with a whole bunch of different things. First off, they did they showed a memorial for Matt Onawadi, best known as Rosie from 3 Man Warning. He passed away over the weekend. He passed away just a couple of days ago. And, well, it was such a tragedy to say the very least. Then we started the show with the newest member of the female roster on SmackDown Live, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, comes out, basically cuts a promo, was interrupted. Well, then Naomi showed up, and a little mini brawl broke out, and Shane McMahon comes out, says that, well, this is SmackDown. Opportunities are earned, never given, and it's never given based on resume or pedigree. Even though she is a 5-time women's champion, that doesn't give you the right to be a number one contender. You got to earn it. So later in the evening, they announced a big match. Naomi one-on-one with Charlotte. If Charlotte wins, then next week, Charlotte Flair versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's title. However, there was one other big announcement that was made, and it was Sami Zayn, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, and Jinder Mahal was going to be in a 6-pack challenge, and more importantly, the winner of that fight will become the number one contender for the WWE Championship. Right now, Randy Orton is locked in with a fight with Bray Wyatt in the House of Horrors match. That's for the WWE title. However, the winner of that fight will fight the winner of the 6-pack challenge. That was going to go down in a matter of moments. So hold your thoughts on that. Even though because of my work commitments, I'm completely out of the show tonight. So Anthony Florio, you lead off on this segment.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Yes, indeed. Hello, friends. Anthony the Hitman Florio here with you for this very loaded show here tonight. And brother, this was an amazing night. This was a banner night indeed. And we'll have plenty of time to get into that. But I'm just going to make this short and sweet because we have a lot to get into here. So Charlotte came across like a big star in the opening segment, and Naomi more than held her own. And MF, I am more than happy to lead the way for the 3-person weave on this as we run down SmackDown Live, a very good SmackDown Live indeed. So, like I said, Charlotte came across like a big star in the opening segment. Naomi more than held her own. Shane O'Mac doing the shuffle to the delight of Michael Bullock, who I hope I get to see do that one day. But, it is what it is. So, there's nothing more for me to say except good segment all around. So, Phenom, Michael Bullock, we had our SmackDown chat tonight, and Charlotte and Naomi, they started it off with a bang, and Shane O'Mac with the shuffle, man. I know how much you love it.
Well, I'll tell you this for you. You'll get to see me do it one day once I get the hang down of it. So don't you worry. You'll see it someday. So yeah, as far as the segment goes, I loved it. I mean, Charlotte did her thing. I mean, basically cutting a heel promo saying that she wants her opportunity at the SmackDown Women's title. Naomi comes out and they have a nice little brawl. Shane McMahon says, "You know what? Just because you're a 5-time women's champion on Raw, it's not. I mean, opportunities like this aren't handed to you. You have to earn it. So tonight, Charlotte, you will go one-on-one with Naomi, and if you win, you'll get to face Naomi for the SmackDown Women's title next week. So, what would happen? We'll have to wait and find out. So, that's all I can say on it. So, Dee Woodson, Twisted Angel, come on in. Give us your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I thought it was a good segment. But actually, I'm a little more interested in the backstage segment that followed it because the girls kind of had a point there about Charlotte getting handed the opportunity just because she came from Raw and stuff like that. But it was a good segment. The girls held their own. Shane, of course, you know, like you said, he's got that shuffle, and just seeing him come out and do his job, that was great. So not much more I'm going to say about it. So let's move on.
What led next was indeed the six-pack challenge. It was a one fall to a finish. And more importantly, the last man standing will be the new number one contender for the WWE Championship. The competitors are Luke Harper, Jinder Mahal, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, and the underman from the underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in approximately 19 minutes and 38 seconds, and now the new number one contender for the WWE Championship is, in a bit of a surprise and an upset here, Jinder Mahal, number one contender. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Boy, I mean, what says me? I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I mean, when with Jinder Mahal in here, I was immediately saying, yeah, you can take him out of it, but nope. I mean, and I told Florio about this, and I'm pretty sure he'll back me up on it. I said Jinder Mahal going to SmackDown Live, I think could do him wonders and couldn't. Maybe they may take him seriously.
Yep, you said that, Bullock. Absolutely right.
Yeah, and obviously, I guess they're really maybe taking him seriously, and this was a surprise outcome, but yeah. So as far as the match goes, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna say fight of the night. 4 to 4.25 stars is my rating on the match, and man, I certainly enjoyed it. And Florio, we certainly had a lot of fun with this match here. And you want to know why? Because we got 2 Tope Suicida!
Tope Suicida!
And we also got 1 Tope Con Hilo!
Tope Con Hilo, Sami Zayn.
I mean, how many times when you get both of those in one match? It's not often you get both in one match, and we got it. And just when it looked like Sami Zayn was on his way to winning it, two mysterious men showed up and Sami Zayn. And who were those two? From looking at it, and Florio, you said the same thing. It was the Bollywood boys. Advantage of it. He's the new number one contender for the WWE Championship. And after the match, he cuts a promo, and then the Viper Randy Orton comes out and confronts him and says, "You know what? You get an opportunity, all right, but not at the title, but for an RKO." And then Bray Wyatt cuts a promo about the House of Horrors match. So fight of the night, 4 to 4.25 stars. So, Dee Woodson, your thoughts on Jinder Mahal becoming the number one contender?
I have to say, actually, about 15 minutes before SmackDown started, read a dirt sheet that was saying that Jinder was predicted to win tonight. So technically, I wasn't completely surprised about it just because of reading that, but I am surprised that they did do the finish with these guys helping him get the win out. It seems like that's becoming the new theme this year with WWE, is making everyone have assistance in winning things, and it looked like they all started back on Raw when Sasha was helping Bayley, and then we go to SmackDown and we have name slips my mind because I'm really tired, but that one guy helping Mojo, and then now this. What? Kronk. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's becoming the new theme for this year. So, but I will agree, it was a very good match. I'll agree with the rating, the 4.5 stars. The stuff after the match, the interview, Orton coming out, Bray's promo. I mean, it was just all that was really good, and especially Bray and Orton, progressing the storyline on with the two of them. So, not much more I have to say about that. So, Florio, it's yours.
100% agree. This was the fight of the night. Michael Bullock and I, boy, howdy, did we have fun with this. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. You can make an argument for 5, but not quite. I mean, this was unreal. I mean, MF, I hope you DVR'd it during your work commitments, because you got to go out of your way to see this fight. This was unreal. I mean, and like Michael Bullock said, yes, Luke Harper with 2 tope suicidas, and Sami Zayn with a tope con hilo. So, but in all seriousness, though, there was Shakespearean drama in this match. I mean, anybody could have won it, but the last person we thought was going to be Jinder Mahal. Now, I'm going to let you kiddies in on something that I came across. Now, this was some random Joe Schmo on Twitter. I came across this late last night. I actually told Bullock this during our SmackDown chat tonight, and I'm going to let MF and Dee Woodson know right here and now. Now, this random Joe Schmo tweeted something very interesting. And if both of these things become a reality, holy crap, we're going to be in for some hella fun on SmackDown Live. What I am hearing is that Randy Orton is going to hold the WWE Championship until SummerSlam. He's going to lose it at SummerSlam. And who's he going to lose it to? A certain phenomenal superstar. Yes, that's right. This Joe Schmo tweeted that Randy Orton's going to lose the WWE Championship to AJ Styles at SummerSlam. But wait, there's more. This same Joe Schmo tweeted that if all goes well, we could see AJ Styles hold the WWE Championship until WrestleMania 34. And at WrestleMania 34, it will be AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against the dream match, Shinsuke Nakamura. How do you like those apples? Now,
You put that at WrestleMania, that's a 5-star classic.
hallelujah.
And definitely will make it the greatest WWE title match of all time.
The one thing is, we've seen this before. Wrestle Kingdom 10, which was 2 years ago, and that was 5 stars and beyond. And remember, that fight that night was for the IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight title.
Right.
This is gonna be for the richest prize in America. This is the biggest title in all of the United States. The WWE World title is gonna be, and plus at WrestleMania, think about this: AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura would literally be fighting in 2 of the biggest shows on earth. Right. In Japan, Wrestle Kingdom on January 4 is their biggest show of the year.
Yes.
This would be massive if they pull this off.
In the Superdome. Think about that. 75,000 in the Superdome. You remember what it was like at 30.
Oh, yeah.
What it will be like at 34 if and only if WWE has the balls to pull the trigger on this.
Oh, I think they're going to do it. And I actually read that article, too. And it wasn't just from Twitter. There was multiple articles reporting a Nakamura versus AJ. That's why they've been trying to avoid them from clashing. They're doing everything in their power to keep them away from building any type of program. They said the next time we see a possible program between these two will not be until the road to WrestleMania.
Fine with me.
And all I'm saying is, WWE, please make this happen.
They better.
I think they'll make it happen. It's gonna happen. It's just
if they don't, I'm gonna be very upset.
Well, the only way this doesn't happen, and God forbid, is if somebody gets hurt. If AJ gets hurt, or if Nakamura gets hurt. If one of them goes down and cannot make it to Mania, that's the only way this is not happening. Because SmackDown Live will do everything in their power, because it's not really driven by Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn. They don't have the say like they do on Monday Night Raw. Shane McMahon has his own crew. He has his own guys. So they're going to protect it. They will protect this more than anything else. So this will happen as long as nobody gets hurt.
Exactly. So
that's the only way the match is not going to happen.
So let me
because if these two were on Raw and people were saying this match should happen, you know what Vince McMahon and Kevin Bucktooth Beaver Dunn are going to say?
Nope.
No, we're going to do it our way. We're going to do something different that you guys will be forced to like.
That's fine and dandy, Bullet. But let me just say it like this. Let me just put this matter to bed here because we got a lot to get into. 4.25, 4.5 stars as far as the match is concerned. It was the fight of the night. MF, you got to go out of your way to see it once you get the time to do it. I'm sure you DVR'd it like you always do during your work commitments. So that's all I can say there. And let's make that happen. And what's the one thing that and MF knows? There's one thing that I always like to preach about when the opportunity presents itself, and that is a fresh face in the main event scene. Jinder Mahal, that is beyond fresh face. So, congratulations, Jinder Mahal. You're the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. You're going to Chicago. You're most likely going to be facing Orton because they're going to put Orton over Wyatt again in that House of Horrors match, which better not be horrible to watch, unlike that god-awful match we saw at WrestleMania. I don't care what anybody says, MF, but, it is what it is, but that's all I can say there. So, a fresh face. Congrats, Mahal. Too bad you're going to lose to Orton in Chicago because Orton's holding that thing until SummerSlam. He's just keeping that title warm for the Phenomenal One. Because once we get to Brooklyn on that hot summer night, I'm sorry, MF, but your boy Orton's going to get defanged by the Phenomenal One. Let's move on.
All right. Next thing we had was that women's matchup that the world's been waiting for. Charlotte Flair making her SmackDown Live debut goes up against, can you feel the glow of the reigning, defending WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi. Now, again, non title match. However, if Charlotte Flair wins, she is guaranteed a championship fight 1 week from tonight on SmackDown Live. Well, guys, we have our first fight set up for next week, and the title will be on the line because Charlotte wins election for the 1, 2, 3. This was supposed to be Dee Woodson, and she has gone off the grid for the moment. So, Anthony, I'm going to let you take over. What did you think of Charlotte Flair? Woo!
Woo!
Number 1
Woo!
contender for the women's title.
Surprised much? No, I'm not. Come on, everybody and their mother knew.
I think not.
Come on, guys. Everybody and their mother knew Charlotte was going to win this. Come on, let's be realistic. I mean, this was a non-title match for goodness sakes. Second best. Oh, well, you can another one of the fights of the night. Absolutely. Bullock and I agreed this was a 3.5-star match. Parts of the match were great, but there were other portions that were a bit mistimed and came across poorly. I'll chalk that up to developing a chemistry. Charlotte has been set up as a step above the entire division in the early going here, and we'll see how the rest of the division responds as time goes on, although we saw those god-awful backstage segments, which I call Mean Girls meet Sweet Valley High. Get the you-know-what out of here with that nonsense. I'm just going to leave it at that. So,
Yeah, get out with that BS nonsense.
yeah. And Bullock and I, we were both very much annoyed with those trifle unnecessary segments, and I do mean trifle unnecessary. So that's all I could say there. But other than that, this was a phenomenal match, a great match. I mean, so nice. We're gonna get it twice, and we're gonna get it next week. This time with the gold on the line, and we'll see what happens. So great outing between these two, 3.5 stars, no doubt about it. This was without question another one of the top fights of the night, definitely in the top 3, no doubt about it. So that's all there is to say on that. So Michael Bullock, Charlotte and Naomi, we both agreed 3.5 stars. Is that still the case?
That is still the case. 3.5 stars. Another one of the top fights of the night. Yeah. So yeah, Charlotte's now the #1 contender for the SmackDown Women's title. She's gonna get her chance at Naomi next week. So there's really nothing more to say. So you pretty much touched on everything for us. So Dee Woodson, if you're there, hopefully you can talk about it. But are you there?
I'm here.
All right, yeah. So give us your thoughts, Charlotte, Naomi, on this match, and of course, the two of them will be facing off for the SmackDown Women's title next week.
Yeah, not a surprise on that. But yeah, it was it was a good match for what it was worth. Yeah, I'll agree. 3.5 stars. Definitely one of the top fights of the night. Excuse me. That they both held their own very well through the match and everything, and I do look forward to seeing how the title will play out on this, whether Naomi hangs on to it or whether we get a repeat of Charlotte from Raw hanging on to the title over and over and over again. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But yeah, repeat of the match next week, and a very good match. So let's just move on.
All right, guys. So the next thing that we had on the show, it was American Alphas going up against, well, the 2 men that jumped and attacked them 1 week ago as part of the newest members of during that superstar shakeup. It was Primo and Epico, so they had a tag team match. And when it was all said and done, surprise, surprise, we had an upset. Primo and Epico defeats the American Alphas. All right, so I guess I'll give it to Michael Bullock. So, Bullock, what do you think about this major upset?
Man, I mean, all I can say is, this. I thought this was. I mean, yes, this was a short match, but in the time being, I thought it was good for what it was, and I'm going to give it 1.5 to 2 stars. And I mean, going into this, I mean, I really wasn't buying this. I thought maybe American Alpha was going to go over on them, but it looks like, I think, guys, we may have to start taking Primo and Epico seriously. I think maybe they're starting to push them. I mean, I know it's only their first week on SmackDown Live, but who knows? Maybe bigger and brighter things are ahead of them. So we'll just have to wait and see come next week. And I really think we need to take them seriously now. So 1.5 to 2 stars. I mean, surprising outcome. So Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'd give it about 1.5 stars. It was okay for what it's worth, and yeah, they definitely look better than they did when they were on Raw. That looks like they're actually starting to give them a push over on SmackDowns. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out, especially with New Day coming in sometime soon. So the tag team picture has definitely changed on SmackDown Live, and hopefully it's for the better in the end. And I know the new talent coming in, that's definitely they're definitely getting their pushes where they might have not had that push before. So we'll see what happens. So Floyo, it's yours.
Michael Bullock and I agreed this was 1.5 to 2 stars. I'm going to give it the solid 2 for the effort. Forget the 1.5. I'm giving it a solid 2. Yeah, the finish was pretty weak. I think Primo intended to have a high impact kick lead to the pinfall, but he flubbed it and forgot to slap his leg. So it came off like garbage on TV. But hopefully both teams get back on track next week. But all I can say is, short match. But for what we saw in that short amount of time, I thought it was actually pretty solid. And Primo and Epico, welcome back, guys. Now we have a reason to take you seriously, finally. They repackaged them again. Yes, sir. Well done. No more Los Matadores. No more Shining Star timeshare BS. No. This is Primo and Epico Cologne. This is the Primo and Epico of 5 years ago, back when they had the beautiful Rosa Mendez in their corner. Rosa's no longer there, but Epico and Primo are off to a good start. So you knocked off the former SmackDown Tag Team Champions in American Alpha. They weren't just ready, willing, and Gable. They were ready, willing, and able. Well done, Primo and Epico and MF. For the first time in 5 years, we have a reason to take these guys seriously. About damn time. They deserve better. Let's move on.
All right. Well, as much as, I know Anthony was happy he only had one cutout on his show last night. Well, this is the only cutout on SmackDown Live that we got tonight, and it was Kevin Owens against Gary Grandy. Basically, in a matter of 31 seconds. I'm not going to waste any of your time, guys, but we are going to get into some really good time on this one. The main event of the evening tonight, it was the phenomenal AJ Styles versus the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin, the winner of the bout in about 14 minutes and 28 seconds via countout. The phenomenal AJ Styles, because Kevin Owens decides to rear his ugly head and tries to pick a fight with Baron Corbin that caused the count out. All right. I believe it's Dee Woodson who takes over on our main event of the evening. So, really, Florio, Gary Grady, the best jobber name ever. What, like James Ellsworth wasn't good enough? You know, we got this,
It's the name.
what,
Just
huh?
it's just the name. It's not the guy. It's the name. I mean, I like that. I'm just saying, Gary Gandy. That is the best jobber name I have ever heard. I'm not saying he's the greatest jobber of all time. No. I'm saying
No, I'm just saying, but I'm saying, really, the jobber name ever. Oh man, I'm not saying anything more. Dee Woodson, go ahead, my dear. It's all yours.
Okay, yeah, my cat turned the surge off, so now I'm mobile for a minute. So you knock my internet off on my computer. So don't be surprised if you hear stuff in the background. I thought this was a pretty good match the way it was going. Not surprised that Kevin Owens got involved in the end. Also not surprised it was a count out finish, but I am going to give it probably 3.5 to 3.25 stars for the match. It was a very good main event, very solid, and still with everything SmackDown does, it's another storyline builder. So not much more I have to say about it because I know you guys will tackle all of it. So Florio, it's yours.
agree with the rating, Dee. Absolutely, another 3.5-star match. I enjoyed the main event. The finish makes sense despite it being a bit of a cop-out. Neither guy needed a clean loss, and Corbin dominated most of the match before losing in a count-out. So that's really all I can say on that. So very good indeed. And this was another very good match. And he may have lost tonight, but I'm going to let you kiddies in on yet another. I mean, I got a couple of more announcements that are definitely going to change the landscape, not just of SmackDown Live, but of wrestling in general. And this is not a big surprise. We've been preaching about this for several months now. Just came across a dirt sheet a bit ago saying that Wrestling Observer Radio is reporting that both Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman are expected to get major pushes this year. Does that surprise anybody? No, it doesn't. So, and the site notes that while both are being groomed as top stars, officials have higher hopes for Baron Corbin as a main event talent, even though everybody knows Braun Strowman is the best thing going on the red side. So that's all there is to say on that. So Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin set for major pushes this year. Not a big surprise. And Corbin, so far, he's proven that he can hang in the main event, and he hung with the phenomenal one. So no big surprise that AJ got the win. That was not a surprise at all. And yep, that's the other big story, Dee Woodson. I was going to save that for the overall review. So yeah, so and they're also headed, and they are headed to SmackDown Live as well. So that could be that could be another major coup for yep, and MF. Yep, that's right, MF. Yep, I'll let it out. The other big announcement, the Miracle Mike Bennett. You remember the Miracle Mike Bennett, formerly of Impact Wrestling. Him and his beautiful wife, Maria Kanellis Bennett. They're going to the WWE, and they are reportedly both heading to SmackDown Live. Mike Bennett could be a major player in perhaps the United States title picture. And Maria, if they want to have her wrestle, maybe she could be a major, she could be a possible player in the women's division. So, but I just hope that when it comes to Bennett and Maria, I just hope that they don't have Maria be that overly obnoxious heel boss character that she was in Impact Wrestling. I mean, I love the girl to death. MF knows that better than anybody because of the love affair I had with that one back in the day. But don't make her like that character, please. I couldn't stomach that character in TNA. I sure as hell would not stomach it here and now. I honestly would love to see them push her as the dumb blonde again. I would like that because that's when I fell in love with her. So we'll see what happens. Long way to go, but just wanted to get that off my chest. So another 3.5 star co-second best fight of the night. I mean, between that and the women's match, I really can't put one over the other for second best fight. The 6-pack though, that was the clear cut fight of the night. So. And yes, MF, it's another match you got to go out of your way to see on your DVR once you have the time. So, not much more to say. Let's get into our overall review, and I believe I start this off. Am I correct on that?
Whoa, what about me?
That's right. I'm just so excited, man. I mean, banner night, a great SmackDown Live, and of course, what happened with the Rangers and the Bulls. I'm just chomping at the bits to get in on that. So, Bullock, it's yours.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5 stars is my rating. I enjoyed the match as well. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So you pretty much touched on it, Florio. So now let's get to our overall thoughts on the show.
And Anthony, you are correct, sir. You lead off.
Good. Solid show, but without live appearances by the New Day, Shinsuke Nakamura, or Daniel Bryan, it felt a little low on star power. Hopefully that changes next week. It's hard to gauge the direction of the show based on the first week, but I'm sure making Jinder Mahal the #1 contender for the WWE Championship, that's going to be a major point of conversation all over the place coming out of this show. Some don't like the move, but I'm willing to watch it play out before I make any harsh judgments on it. But it's right around the same boat as Monday Night Raw. 8 to 8.5 out of 10, just like Raw was last night. I mean, the only real blemish on this show, and it was a cutout match. I mean, last night we saw it with Finn Balor and Kurt Hawkins. On this night, it was Kevin Owens squashing the best jobber name I ever heard. Yes, I don't care what anybody says about that. Gary Gandy, best jobber name ever. That's all there is to say on that. He squashes him in 31 seconds. But other than that, I mean, all the matches delivered. And I forgot to mention this on Ridiculously Raw last night when we were doing our overall review of Raw. My recommendations, try to go out of your way to watch the whole show. The only thing that I say to skip would be the Balor and Hawkins squash, unless you're a diehard Finn Balor fan. But unless you're a diehard Kevin Owens fan, skip that jobber match with Gandy. But other than that, go out of your way to watch the whole show. I mean, all the other matches were solid to good to great. And it's a dead heat. I mean, I can honestly say I really don't know which show was better. I mean, both shows. Raw was phenomenal last night. SmackDown Live follows suit here tonight. Storyline progression. And, of course, a major bout of unpredictability with Jinder Mahal, of all people, becoming the #1 contender. Too bad, because we all know. We don't have to wait till our preview show. We all know Randy Orton's should have no trouble with him. I'm sure Mahal might give him some fits, but let's be realistic. Orton's walking out of that thing still the champion. He's holding it until SummerSlam. AJ's going to take it from him. He's holding that thing until Mania, and then we're going to get the dream match with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. And if WWE has the balls to do it, which I hope and pray to God they do, we're looking at the greatest title match in WrestleMania history. And it'll be so much better than that god-awful match we had with Orton and Wyatt this year. So that will erase the painful memories of that match. So that's all I can say on that. So 8.5 out of 10. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Michael Bullock, another very good SmackDown Live. But between this and Raw, I really can't put one over the other. They're both so great in their own ways.
Yeah, I agree. So I have to say the same thing, 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I mean, it's tough to tell like which show was better. So yeah, so like you just said, I recommend everything except the Kevin Owens squashing that jobber. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So 8.5, 8 to 8.5 out of 10. So DD Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll agree with the rating. And me, I'm looking forward to when Mike and Maria show up to seeing some of these matches that Mike Bennett and Kevin Owen used to have. I've seen some of them on YouTube. So it'll be interesting to see one on SmackDown and not Memorex on YouTube, since my area of Ohio doesn't get Ring of Honor. So other than that, guys, I'm heading out. I got early work commitments, so see you tomorrow or see you next week.
All right, Dee, thanks a lot as always. And now we are going to uh, shift into gear now. And yeah, this is it. We're going to start with the Ranger Roundup, and then the Bulls Corner, the Ranger Roundup, Game 4, a must-win for the New York Rangers against the Montreal Canadiens from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, a place where Rangers has been struggling to get a win lately. The jinx is over. The losing streak in the Garden is over. Ranger fans, it's time to celebrate. Your New York Rangers are back in the series. It's a 2-2 series, 2-1 the final score tonight. This is how it happened. First period, the Rangers score, and Jasper Foss unassisted at 11:39. That gives the New York Ranger a 1-0 lead. Then Montreal gets the goal back. Little controversy about the goal. It looked like there was too many men on the ice, but the referees didn't call it. Fine, whatever. We'll let it live. Scored by Torrey Mitchell, Shea Weber, and Alexander Rusevson gets the assist. It was 1-1 after one. Then in the second period, it only lasted about 4 minutes and 28 seconds where Rick Nash, you know what? I can't say the other word. Don't want to get myself in trouble. He scores. Ryan McDonough, the captain, gets the assist. 2-1 New York. And guess what? That's the game-winning goal. That's the one that clinches it. Yep. That's the one that clinches it for the Rangers. They win it 2-1. Like I said, they're back in the series with a big victory. And now they fly back to Montreal for a very important Game 5. It's a winner. It is a must for both teams. You win Game 5, you're probably going to put yourself in a great position to win Game 6 and win the series. So, before we get into anything, Anthony will run through all the stats and who he liked in the game. But the one thing I always love to do is the 3 stars of the game, and here they are. The number 3 stars was Carey Price, who had 30 saves in the game. The number 2 star goes to Henrik Lundqvist for 23 saves on the night. And the number 1 star, well, and I heard the winner of the Broadway hat as well. It was Rick Nash. He gets the game, the lone goal in the second period, the game-winning goal, and his second goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Anthony Florio, you wanted the Rangers to show up. You wanted them to be motivated because they were very lackluster. They looked like they were not there. Well, guess what? They were there tonight. They played a much better game, and Rangers win.
I think you see it on my screen share there, MF and Bullock. I think you see it. Puzzle piece number 2 is in place when it comes to the Ranger puzzle there. Well, one of 2 Ranger puzzles. There is another one. I'll show it again. There's the other one. The puck, the second puck goes in. We got 14 more of those to get before we get the ultimate prize. But, we'll take that one game at a time. Needless to say, there will be no there's going to be no Anthony Florio meets Jesse Ventura, Bret Hart 1997 rant like I had on Sunday night. And I guess they actually listened to me. I mean, I wanted to see that sense of urgency. I wanted to see the bark. I wanted to see the bite. And most of all, I wanted to see the balls. And they went balls to the wall tonight. So well done, Rangers. Shots on goal, 32-24 in favor of the Rangers. Hey, Rangers actually outshot them. That's awesome. The face-off percentage, yeah, that went Montreal's way, 54-46. We were back to normal on the power play. Nobody scored on the power play. You can't buy a power play goal in this series. The hit advantage, all New York, 43-25. The blocks advantage was Montreal's 18-13. And the giveaways were even just about. But Montreal had one more giveaway. They had 16, Rangers 15. Unlike that 21-8 garbage we saw the other night. So I agree with the 3 stars. Carey Price played a phenomenal game for Montreal. 30 saves on 32 shots. Henrik Lundqvist, the resurrected king, as I call him. The resurrected king was back tonight, 23 saves on 24 shots. And Rick Nash, out of witness protection, he scores the winner. Yeah, I agree. He was the star of the game. He got the Broadway hat, as you saw the photo there, guys. So, and this time, I will be more than happy to dignify the New York Rangers on this night, unlike the other night when I didn't want any part of it. I'm back to being a Ranger fan tonight, no doubt about it. Rick Nash with the goal. He also had 2 hits and a block shot. Chris Kreider, 4 hits, played a great game. Jesper Foss, let's not forget about Jesper Foss. I thought he played a phenomenal game as well. He got the scoring started. He scored a goal tonight. He also had 5 hits and a block, which led the team to 5 hits. The captain, Ryan McDonough, phenomenal game from him as well. Had an assist, 4 hits, 2 block shots. Nick Holden, one of our young bloods, as I call it, 3 hits and a block shot. And the other guys, just did their job. This was definitely a much better performance tonight. JT Miller, two hits and 3 block shots. Also had a couple of takeaways as well. So Stepan, 3 takeaways and a couple of hits. So and of course Henrik Lundqvist standing on his head like we've seen him do time and time again, showing you why he is in the opinion of myself and MF the best in the world at what he does. And I hope you all understand what I just said to you. So but I got to show the love for the other side, the Montreal Canadiens, who were my standout players for Montreal. Of course, the Ranger killer, as I call him, Alexander Radulov. An assist. He also had 4 hits on the night. Let me see who else. Byron with 3 block shots. He also had a hit. Steve Ott with 4 hits, played a great game. Shea Weber had an assist, couple hits, couple blocks. Petrie, 4 block shots. He also had a hit. Markov played a good game with a couple of blocks and a hit. And Carey Price, of course, 30 saves, 32 shots. And now we're even. Game 5 in Montreal Thursday night. MF and I will have that Ranger roundup for you. And I got to say right now, the advantage has slowly gone back to the way of the New York Rangers, because remember, the New York Rangers had the best road record of any team in the NHL this year at 27-12-2 away from MSG. So hopefully,
and they've already stolen a game earlier in this series. They actually took game 1, so they have been known to win on Montreal's ice.
Yes, indeed. And also tonight, the New York Rangers snapped a 6-game home losing streak in the Stanley Cup playoffs. This was the Rangers' first Stanley Cup playoff win at home since game 1 of the 2015 Eastern Conference Finals against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay, of course, went on to win games 2, 5, and 7 in the Garden in 2015. And then, of course, the Pittsburgh Penguins winning games 3 and 4 in the first round last year. That made it 5. And then game 3 the other night by Montreal. That made it 6 in a row. Rangers finally get the monkey off their back. They break the jinx, and they get their first home playoff win since game 1 against Tampa Bay in the conference finals in 2015. So hopefully the New York Rangers can carry that momentum into Montreal. They stole game 1. They should have won game 2, but they choked it away. And that opened the door for Montreal to win. And then Montreal just absolutely kicked the door down, made themselves at home. But phenomenal performance by the New York Rangers. A much better performance by the New York Rangers tonight. And Well, so much for that little rant I went on the other night saying, "Oh, Montreal's going to win this thing in 5 easy." No, Rangers had that sense of urgency. I wanted that sense of urgency. I wanted the bark. I wanted the bite. I wanted the whole 9 yards, and I got it tonight. So, well done, boys. Let's do it again Thursday night. Bring it. You guys had the best road record. Let's show the world why we were the best team on the road this year. And if we can steal one more in the Bell Center on Thursday, that could put us in a prime position to do what we did 3 years ago, and that's put these guys away again. And that would be on Saturday, because now we have a game, and now there will be a game 6, and it will be on Saturday. We just don't know if it'll be a Saturday afternoon game or if it'll be a Saturday night game. Time to be determined, obviously, but we'll let you know when we hear it. So I'm happy. That's all I can say on that. So well done, Rangers. So it's not often we have this, but we're gonna have it right now. Michael Bullock, come on in, man. New York Rangers. They get the momentum back. They hold off the Canadiens 2-1. So let's get a quick thought from you. The New York Rangers, I mean, must-win game for them, and boy, how did they deliver? And they couldn't have picked a better time to do so.
Yes, they definitely needed this. They definitely needed this win, and if they wanted to get back in the series, and boy, howdy, they certainly got it. And by going up to one of the most, I mean, of course, by winning it on their home ice against a very tough team in Montreal. I mean, you got to give Montreal credit. I mean, they really were in it, and I mean, Henrik Lundqvist, I mean, I thought he played really good tonight. And they got some timely goals, especially from Rick Nash in the second period to give them the lead for good. So, yeah, so now it's back to Montreal for a pivotal game 5. Can New York go up there and steal one up there in Montreal? We're gonna have to wait and find out. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more for me to say. I mean, you guys pretty much touched on everything. So now let's get into the Bulls corner, and well, you two might be celebrating it, but as for me, well, that's a totally different story.
To completely understand, and yes, we are in the final part of our leg here, the Bulls corner. Chicago does it again. 111-97. Day Holiday Ham. The Boston Celtics into submission on this night. Chicago has won the first 2 games of the series, and they are now 2 wins away from doing something that only the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks have ever done in playoff history. Be a number 8 seed and upend the number 1 seed in a conference. Of course, as many of you guys know, the last time it happened in the Eastern Conference, you gotta go all the way back to 1999, the strike-shortened season where the New York Knicks, who was the 8th seed, upended the Miami Heat and won the series, and consequently in that year went all the way to the NBA Finals, only to lose to the eventual champion, who was the San Antonio Spurs. That was the first of the next. I think that pretty much started for the San Antonio Spurs as their decade of dominance, or their 15-year dominance, started as they basically pulled like a New England Patriot thing by winning 5 championships in like the next 15 years. So we'll wait and see what happens with San Antonio. And let me tell you, they're looking really great right now, where they could be another threat again for yet another possible Larry O'Brien trophy. But we're not going to get into that. We're getting into the Bulls. And in the first quarter, Chicago actually took a lead, 31-26. Basically, it was back and forth, but you really started to the sense that the Bulls looked a lot better. They felt more comfortable. They were being more aggressive this time around. Boston had some of their great moments. Isaiah Thomas was all right. Crowder was okay. There wasn't really many guys who really stepped up, but good first half and good first quarter. Second quarter, the Bulls really was trying to dictate the pace. At one point, they were up by almost 9, and then they got it to about 11. At one point, when Jimmy Butler hit a shot with about 3.5 minutes left, the Celtics were trailing 50-39. Then the Celtics tried to make a little bit of a comeback, but at the end of the first half, it was 54-46 Chicago on to the third. And again, Chicago, the Celtics makes a big run at the beginning, got it all the way down to 1 point to a 60-59 lead for Chicago. Chicago calls timeout, let's regroup, and it was a back and forth fight. But then Chicago started to pull away again, making some clutch shots, making some key plays. It gets it to at least a double-digit lead. Then they kept the pressure on. At the end of 3, it was 86-75. Chicago having the lead. Fourth quarter, basically, Chicago just did not give up. This time around, the Celtics just did not have an answer for Chicago. Once it got into a certain point, you were thinking, they're going to get close. Unfortunately, this time around, for Celtic fans, it just was not meant to be. The key plays, the key buckets, no big mistakes by Chicago. At that point, the game was over. Your final score tonight from the TD Garden in Boston, the Chicago Bulls 111, the Boston Celtics 97. Chicago has taken the first 2 games of the series, and now it is going to the Madhouse on Madison, the home of the Chicago Bulls, the UC, as we like to call it. I know I call it that, Anthony calls it that, and our good friend Matt Ward calls it that. We're going to the UC for Game 3 in 3 nights, and that game will be exclusively on ESPN. Anthony Florio, jump on in on this. Give me your stars of the game, and let's revel in this great victory. The Chicago Bulls puts I'll use another term. They were basically running a stampede all over Gang Green tonight.
Just like the Montreal Canadiens did to us Easter Sunday night in Game 3 against the Rangers, the Chicago Bulls kicked the door down in the TD Garden, and they made themselves at home on this night again. Oh, my goodness. My 3 stars of the game, I'm going to be real honest with you. They're all Chicago Bulls. There's not one Boston Celtic in this list here tonight. My number 3 star, I got to give it up. I got to give it to Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez, man. 18 points, 8 rebounds. Very good game from him. I thought he had a very efficient game. He was 8 of 11 from the field. My number 2 star of the game, the man MF loves to hate, Rajon Rondo. But MF, you have to admit, I know as much as you hate his guts, that we saw a vintage Rajon Rondo game here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, assist away from a triple-double. I mean, this was Rondo, Boston Celtics great tonight.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I know you hate his guts, but at least on this night, you got to show him the love, at least for this night. So, 11 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds, 5 steals for Rajon Rondo. He was my number 2 star. And who was my number 1 star? Yet again, just like it was the other night, by a smidge, I got to give it to Jimmy Buckets. Once again, Jimmy Butler. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, had a couple of block shots. And I'm even going to throw in not 1, but 2 honorable mentions on this. And guess what? They're both Chicago Bulls as well. Big surprise. The veteran, the wily veteran, Dwayne Wade. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, had a block. I thought he played a phenomenal game tonight. I mean, that was a vintage Dwayne Wade game, just like his days in Miami. And my unsung hero of the night, Sunday night, it was Bobby Portis, who was the unsung hero. We got another unsung hero, and this is a major unsung hero. Give it up for the young man out of Germany, Paul Zipser. 16 points with a rebound and an assist, 2 out of 3 from three-point range. Zipser, I thought, played phenomenal tonight. And I could even throw in the fifth member of our starting five, Nikola Mirotic, 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists as well. But my top 3 are Butler, Rondo, and Lopez. I thought they played the best games tonight. I mean, Jimmy Bucket's doing what he does best. Rajon Rondo, oh my goodness. I mean, he stuck it to his former team, much to the chagrin of Michael Bullock. I mean, Bullock was like, man, I wish he was still with us, but no way, Bullock. He's not with you boys anymore. He's with us now, and he paid the dividends here tonight. And as much as MF hates his guts, I mean, I'm glad MF finally came around and showed the love to Rajon Rondo. This is why I liked Rajon Rondo as a player. I mean, the numbers. I mean, this was a vintage Rajon Rondo game. 11 points, the 14 assists, the 9 rebounds. He had 5 steals as well. Just phenomenal. So now let's get into the overall numbers of the game. Chicago Bulls, they shot 51.1% from the field, a total of 45 out of 88. The Boston Celtics, 46.3%, 38 out of 82. 3-point shooting, that was the Chicago Bulls as well, 40% from 3, 10 out of 25. The Celtics, 30.3% from 3-point range, 10 out of 33. Free throw advantage went to the Chicago Bulls as well, 78.6%. They were 11 out of 14. Celtics, 57.9% from the line, 11 out of 19. Rebounding edge, of course, Chicago wins that because they were a much better rebounding team during the regular season. Out-rebounded the Celtics, not as lopsided as Game 1. This time around, it was 43-38, but it was still the Chicago Bulls. Assists, that was Chicago, 28-26. Turnovers, Chicago Bulls only committed 10 turnovers. The Celtics committed 16. Steals, Chicago had that as well, 12-6. 12-6 in favor of the Bulls on the steal edge. Block shots, 6-4, Chicago. Bulls committed 17 personal fouls. Well, both teams committed 17 personal fouls. And Isaiah Thomas was called for a technical foul. Bobby Portis called for a technical foul. So that's really all there is to say on that. That's the icing on the cake. So Chicago Bulls, man. The first number 8 seed to take a 2-0 lead on a number 1 seed in a first-round series since the Los Angeles Lakers did it against the Phoenix Suns in 1993. Only difference is Phoenix would come back and win the series. The Suns would then go all the way to the NBA Finals before losing to the Chicago Bulls. The third of the 6 championships, the third title in the first three-peat. So that's a little backstory there. And Michael Bullock and I, during our SmackDown chat, we were flipping between. We had a busy night. We were flipping between SmackDown Live. We were flipping between the Rangers, and we were flipping between the Bulls and the Celtics. And Michael Bullock and I both agreed on this night, and I know Bullock will back it up when we get to him. We felt that the Chicago Bulls were playing more like the number 1 seed, and the Boston Celtics were playing more like the number 8 seed. So, and I agree 100% with that statement. So, a 5-star performance by the Chicago Bulls tonight. I can't say the same about the Boston Celtics, and I know Michael Bullock is about to channel his inner me from the other night. You remember when I went on that big rant about the Rangers the other night? Well, I know Michael Bullock is about to go on a major phenom rant when it comes to his Celtics performance or lack thereof here tonight. So, well done, Chicago. More than pleased with the outcome. You made me proud, you made MF proud, and you also made Matt Ward proud. So 2 more to go. Game 3, Friday night. Madhouse on Madison, oh, it will be a madhouse, believe me. So that's all there is to say on that. So Michael Bullock, a long night for you, and I know for the first time in a long time, if I know you, you're probably embarrassed and ashamed to be a Celtic fan tonight.
Yeah, damn right I'm embarrassed to be a Celtic fan. I mean, well, first off, I mean, I agree. I mean, a dominant performance by the Chicago Bulls tonight. I mean, Rajon Rondo, I mean, channeling his old Rajon Rondo when he was with the Celtics during that championship run in 2008. And like you said, he was 1 assist shy of a triple double. I mean, yeah, and Dwayne Wade, I mean, pulling up the old Dwayne Wade from his Miami Heat days, and Jimmy Butler doing what he always does. So, and Robin Lopez has really been a dominant force, not just in scoring, but also on the rebound side. So, yeah, so great job by them. But yeah, I've never been more embarrassed and humiliated to be a Boston Celtics fan. I mean, like I said, the Chicago Bulls, they're the ones playing like the number 1 seed, while we, the Boston Celtics, as the number 1 seed, we're playing like the number 8 seed. I mean, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, and you should be embarrassed for the performance you've done the first 2 games. I mean, wake up, you guys! Wake the F up! I mean, where's the fire? Where's the passion? You guys haven't shown any of it the first 2 games. I mean, even the Boston media is really coming out and slamming this team. One guy, Gary Tanguay, he came out and said, it's time for the Celtics to blow it up and start over. I only want Jaylen Brown and the player they draft with the Nets pick back. I don't know if I go that far. I mean, you still got a young team there. I don't know if I'd blow it up. And Trenny Kasneric saying, can we panic now? Jason Schwartz saying, analysis, the Celtics need to make a shot. And I mean, and a lot of fans were really ripping this team, and they should be. I mean, and now you're going to be going into that madhouse in Chicago. You guys need to wake up and find that inner green team that you were, that got you that number 1 seed. Bring that fire, bring that passion, because I'll tell you what, if you guys lose game 3, I say break out the brooms, because we're going to get swept. So wake up and start playing like the Boston Celtics, like the teams, I mean, the players that have worn the green of the Celtics in the past, like Larry Bird, like Kevin McHale, like Robert Parrish, like John Havlicek, Paul Pierce. I could go on and on. Show that Celtic pride, or this Celtics fan is going to be even more pissed off than I already am. Wake the F up, go into Chicago, and take a couple, 1 or 2 games out there in Chicago, or this Celtic fan is going to go off even more. So I'm done. I'm finished. Fletch, just wrap this up. I'm done. I'm done with this.
All right, we're gonna end it right here. It's been a long night, but we are indeed done. So this is what's gonna happen, guys. Thursday night is gonna be another edition of the Ranger Roundup, because that is the next time the Rangers will play, and Anthony and myself will have that. We don't know the time yet. Maybe 10:30 is probably gonna be the best time. Once the Rangers is over, and we will recap that game. Friday night is strictly sports, and right now it's a hold. We don't know what is going to happen. Okay, so it is official. The NFL will release its schedule, so we will have a very special NFL schedule release. Uh, that is going down on Friday at 10:30 Eastern, and then the next time, and then on Sunday we're gonna do another Ranger Roundup Ambles Corner, because now that the Rangers have extended the series, we will have a game 6 that is guaranteed. We'll wait and see what the Bulls does. They'll probably be in game 4 at that point, and we will set everything up. So that we got a lot of content coming up on everything going down. Friday is game 3. Game 4 is what? Sunday or Monday?
Sunday.
Sunday is game 4. We will cover that at that point. So we got a lot coming up. So guys, keep your eyes peeled to my Facebook page, to Anthony's Facebook page. We will have all the information coming out. And of course, right here on Braves Fan 95 on Thursday night, because of the fact that now we've just found out that the schedule is indeed being released on Thursday, I will come back here just briefly to give you my thoughts about the Miami Dolphins only. And then, of course, we will have the Ranger Roundup. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, Dee Woodson, as always, thank you. I'm Michael Fletcher. You know the routine, Hut Ham Pounds. We're out. Have a good night. So long for now.